Welcome everyone to another video. It's your favourite Fortnite politician back with another commentary video. Now unfortunately, I did not want to make two negative videos in a row, but I feel like this topic needs to be discussed more. For those that don't know, leaking is the term for data mining into the Fortnite servers and finding either unreleased outfits, items and even events. Back in the early days of leaking, it was relatively harmless and it's actually helpful as we got insight into upcoming outfits that you could save your V-Bucks for, something good. However, as leaking culture evolved, we have started to see the decline of leaking, which has now become an engagement farm of misinformation and spoiling what could potentially be some of the biggest reveals the game could have done. First of all, leaking is not leaking. Let me explain. When the term leaking is used, it should mean promoting, as everything Fortnite does with leaking is intentional, otherwise they would be suing. They have a distinct way of encrypting outfits, so that we know only certain things coming out. For example, Fortnite doesn't encrypt the non-collab cosmetics, so we know about those, but they do encrypt certain collab cosmetics and only decrypt them before the shop release so that content creators can promote the collab. However, I think some of the best surprises from Fortnite is when there is no announcement about the collab and they just drop it randomly. Like how Cyborg was randomly dropped earlier this year without any leak or teaser shown. The landscape of leaking has evolved so much that leakers don't just get their information from inside the game. Apparently, some of the leakers have insider sources that provide information about upcoming seasons, events and even collaborations. However, these insiders don't always provide real information, and we can result in tweets like these. Misinformation is a very annoying result in leaking. If you've built up trust from your leaking only to lie to people and for them to believe you, it loses your reputation. And when it happens so often as this year, a gathering of hate starts to come your way. Of course, insiders sometimes leak so early that Epic could change their plans, or even though the leak was initially correct, things might have changed inside. I think one of the greatest pieces of misinformation ever was the Doctor Who leak. Someone had made a fake event pass, fake models of outfits, and even models of weapons, which was so good that leakers did post about it. Of course, the leak was proved to be fake, and Doctor Who was never supposed to come to Fortnite at all. This is why I think the best solution is to not report on insiders until the leak is bound to happen, like in a day or two. But then that ruins the next topic. Nobody likes spoilers. Having surprises ruined is one of the worst things that can happen, and leaking really does that to Fortnite. What could have been one of the coolest surprises ever was when Dr. Doom hijacked Megalodon's ship and suddenly a Marvel season was approaching. But the surprise fell flat because we were spoiled of the results since April. Or what about the hype of the K-pop Demon Hunters collab coming to the game? The surprise of that happening just before the update would have been amazing, but we found out 3 weeks before any official news got announced. Spoiling the leak turns it into a waiting game, as now that we know that it's coming, we just want to know when it happens. One of the worst examples of this was One Punch Man. We found out that it was happening in June, but then we had to wait 3 months for the cloud to roll around. This also leads to the next point too. Something that I've started to notice a lot more in the last few years is the constant engagement farming. The tweets that most leakers use are always in caps to grab as much attention as possible, and yeah, it's exciting, but surely you must get tired from shouting all the time. In addition, we always need to be reminded about a collab or an upcoming season. For example, the K-pop Demon Hunters collab. Since it got spoiled so early, we had 3 weeks of leakers reminding people about the collab, and it got so old so fast. It also doesn't help that they use the same pictures each time. This one image of Homer Simpson has been burnt into my brain, and I am begging for Fortnite to post an announcement image so I can stop seeing this flippin' image! So, I've outlined my points, but what would be my ideal leaking world? Well, for starters, no more insiders. I think leaking should stick to the game itself, and if there is something in the files that could be a big spoiler, the biggest that should be online is a subtle hint or teaser. I think we should keep revealing the new outfits at downtime, as I believe that is a positive leak. Leaking should be news, is what I'm saying. If Fortnite announces it, then the leakers can announce it. But then it's not really leaking then, is it? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where I will be talking about how this image haunts my dreams.
Homer, are you going to get a haircut?